All right, I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm definitely not gonna waste mine. We're just gonna make it do what it do, how it wanna do it, because it's not allowing me to do landscape. I don't like that. Hold on, let me put the camera back up here on the thing. I don't want you in my nose though. I wonder why it won't let me do landscape. You know, the powers that be at YouTube just kind of crack me up sometimes. How they do things, and 1 minute is this way, next minute is that way, then they dismantle this and put that together. It's just kind of foolish. Oh, anyway, let me have a seat before you. How y'all doing? It's me. It is everything fresh and sassy. How are you? I hope and pray all is well with you. I do, mind, body, spirit, and in health. And I say that with the greatest sincerity because when you get a taste of not feeling well, when you get a taste of you just not right in your shanana, you know, you can kind of empathize with people who also don't feel well. And right now, my empathy cup runneth over. I attempted to do this video, I guess 2 or 3 nights ago, and I had no plans for that video to be a 5-hour video. But let me tell you why it was 5 hours. Then we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, because this one definitely isn't going to be 5 hours, because I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour in just a minute. That's it. But the reason why I was on there, I think, for 5 hours was because I haven't been here in a minute. I've been away. I've been taking care of self. I've been living life because that's what I'm determined to do. And because I'd been away for so long, you know, I would make note about this, that, and this, and that. And then I tried to talk about everything in one video. And while it all correlated and came together and it all congealed and made the picture I was trying to make, it was just too long. I don't want nobody to spend 5 hours watching me. I don't want you to have to watch 30 minutes here, come back and watch 10 minutes there, 20 minutes here, an hour there. And listen, I am not the one to say I don't like long videos. I love a good long video as long as you're talking about something and you're not repeating over and over and over and over and over and over the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind long videos. But let's just get to the nitty gritty. I wish somebody had told me. I wish somebody had told me menopause was going to be what I'm experiencing. Okay? And I guess for everybody it's different. There's different phases of menopause. There's premenopausal, there's menopausal, there's postmenopausal. And then there's this stage, the luteal stage. I think I'm saying that right, or maybe I'm thinking about something else. I don't know. But there's all these different phases and stages. And they can tell by testing your blood work where you are. Whether you're ovulating, whether you're premenopausal, postmenopausal, menopausal, they can tell by the numbers. So for instance, 1 to 10, you're ovulating. 10 to 20, you're premenopausal. 20 to 30, you're menopausal. 30 to 40, you're postmenopausal. And mine said that I was now postmenopausal, but I think postmenopausal means you're not going through menopause anymore or having the side effects. But I'm having the side effects, and they are wearing me the out. The hot flashes. I wouldn't say mood swings. My moods aren't swingy. But when I get mad, it takes me longer to calm down. And I never forgot. Y'all remember Cora? You know, Cora, Medea's daughter. Cora, yeah. She had said in one of them movies that Medea had made that when we go through menopause, we don't have all the hormones that we need to get and remain calm. I never forgot her saying that, but it really hit home when it hit me. truly. I caught my first Karen out in the live. I've caught my first Karen out in the wild, out in the street, out at Wegmans. I was wondering what took so long. It's not that I was looking. I don't go looking for no trouble. But I'm like always the one that's, somebody got, something off the wall or off the chain, just, why'd you pick me, But anyway, I called my first Karen and shut her down. Shut her right on down. I turned on the camera. She didn't know the camera was running until after she started running her mouth and she said what she had to say. And then when she said what she had to say, which was you, and get the out the way, after she said all that, then I told her, I said, say it again. Say it again. I said, because the camera was rolling the whole time. Say it again. Because you're going to be live at 8 on YouTube. I didn't post that video, But the woman she was bonkers. She was absolutely bonkers. I think I'm going to post the video. I'm not going to leave it up long. But I just want you to see just the craziness of this individual, what she wanted me to do and how she felt I should move, And I had been standing there all along. She just walks up and tells me to get out of her way. She wants to get by because she's crippled. She says to me, excuse me. I need to get by. I'm crippled. Let me tell you something. Anybody that has a real disability doesn't walk around telling people, I'm crippled. Can you please move out of my way so I can get by? Handicapped people with disabilities don't do that. And I said to her, well, right now I'm standing at I don't want to tell you this story now. Come back later. We'll talk about it later. I'm staying on target. I'm remaining focused. I'm going to set a 1-hour timer. And timer 100. And I'm going to tell you in just a moment, as soon as I get over there, what the tea is. All right, give me just a second. Ooh, the water's hot, so you know the tea gonna be good. It's gonna be good. A lot of lemon. There we go. So, where have I been? I've been going through. How do I start? I just wish somebody had told me menopause was going to be all that it is, because it's wearing me out. It's kicking my butt. It's got me anxious. It's got me, in my head, just, ugh. Anyway, what happened? Okay, well, what happened was I hadn't been feeling myself, wasn't feeling too well. And I know they say that high blood pressure is a silent killer. When people's blood pressure supposedly is elevated or not in a good range, most people don't know it. I do. I feel an anxiousness in my chest, like, like a tension. Not like, something's pressing on my chest, not like heart attack or anything like that. But I just feel very, very anxious. And I just don't feel well. I don't feel well. So I have my own blood pressure cuff. I probably should get a new one. I've had this one for about maybe 5 years. It probably needs a replacement. But I had a blood pressure cuff, and I was taking my blood pressure laying down on my side, and it was really high to be just laying down. So I knew that wasn't good, that wasn't right. So I went to the ER, and they did my labs, my EKG. Now they said, labs are great, no problem there. Whenever you get labs done, thank them for the labs that they drew for you and ask for a copy, and you must look at it yourself, because my labs weren't fine, okay? I found out I had alkalosis and they didn't even tell me, okay? The reason why they didn't tell me I had alkalosis was because when you come in and you say my blood pressure's up and your blood pressure's up when you get there, they're addressing the immediate, imminent possibility of some type of danger or quelling that danger and putting it at rest and making sure you're safe, you're good before you leave the hospital, or else they're going to keep you, right? So they weren't going to tell me that I had alkalosis, right? I had all the symptoms of alkalosis, and my lab work showed that, my blood was leaning towards going alkaline instead of being 7.5. At least it wasn't headed in the acidic direction, because that's called acidosis, and that's dangerous. And so is alkalosis. Alkalosis can be very dangerous too, because if you get too alkaline, your blood turns to ammonia. When you get too acid, your blood turns to acid. Acidosis, acidic, alkalosis, alkaline, and ammonia. Both of them will take you out. So they didn't tell me I had alkalosis. I had to ask for a copy of the lab work and see that my blood pH was 8.0. Now that's not too bad, but that's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 7.45 up to 7.5. Okay, so that was one thing I found out in the ER. But anyway, they gave me some medication. The medication brought my blood pressure down. I asked for the lowest possible dose possible, because I've had this before, like 30 years ago, and I couldn't even lift my head up off the pillow. Okay, and I know the brand name, but I didn't know the generic name. And had I known the generic name, I probably would not have accepted that medicine, because that stuff, you have to be weaned off of it. So anytime you have to be weaned off of something, that means it's addicting. Okay, and your body gets used to it and depends on that medication. So I had to accept the medicine because my blood pressure was dangerously high. My blood pressure at one point in the ER was 243 over 110. I've never in my life heard of anybody's blood pressure being that high. I'm sure there's other people who've had it higher, but I've never heard of that. Okay, my blood pressure, 112 over 60, 116 over 70. That's my homeostasis right there. 112 to 116, or 60 over 70. That's where I normally am, right? But something happened in the ER. I'm going to talk about that later, because I'm staying on track, and I'll tell you how my blood pressure got to 243 over 110. So anyway, they gave me the blood pressure medication. That was a whole story, and I have to come back and tell you that. They gave me the blood pressure medication. My blood pressure came down to 140 over 90. They let me go, okay? I took the medicine because my blood pressure was dangerously high. I didn't want to have a cardiac issue. I didn't want to have, I didn't want to stroke out. So I said, I'm going to take this medication. Next, the next line of fire, I guess, or for lack of a better term, but the next thing that I needed to do was to go see my doctor and ask for lab work. This made me anxious and upset all in and of itself, because I have a doctor's office. I don't have a doctor. I have not found anybody that I'm comfortable with, anybody who I feel I trust. I don't have that right now. But just for the sake of not having to run from place to place to place to place to place, I have found this doctor's office, and I hate to go there. I hate to go there, and it brings up a lot of anxiety in me. For instance, I went to the doctor's office the next day because I wanted lab work done. And when the nurse came in to take my blood pressure, I said, please don't tell me my blood pressure. I know it's high. If you tell me my blood pressure is high, it's only going to go higher. I took my blood pressure at home, and as a matter of fact, I've even stopped allowing them to take my blood pressure. I take my blood pressure before I leave home, and I tell them what it is when I get there. But I don't let them take it. And some doctors might not let you do that, but that's what I have to insist on, because I know I have white coat syndrome. I know I do. I was told that 40 years ago that I have white coat syndrome. I can take my blood pressure at home and be just fine. Get in the doctor's office, through the roof. So anyway, the reason why it obsessed me to even have to go to this doctor was because, again, I told this nurse, you know, I let her take my blood pressure because I just came from the ER the day before, and I wanted them to get a reading as to what it was. It was elevated, but it was not in a danger zone. It's what you would call borderline. It was 140/95. So even with the blood pressure medicine, right? So anyway, so I told her, please don't tell me what my blood pressure is when you take it. She took my blood pressure and she said, oh, it's high. It's really? Did I not just tell you, don't tell me it's high? Did I not just tell you, don't tell me what it is? I know what my blood pressure is. I take my blood pressure twice a day, if not more. And you really shouldn't be chasing blood pressure, but sometimes I do, and I know that's not good either. But anyway, you know, those things like that at the doctor's office get me upset. You know, they call your name, they usher you back, they sit you down, and immediately take your blood pressure. They don't give you a chance to rest. You know, somebody's kid could be in the back screaming and yelling because they're getting, you know, anything, you know. So what happened? The doctor came in, and this doctor I had not seen before. And I explained to him what happened, what happened the day before in the ER, what they gave me, yada, 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 and I'm here to get some lab work done. And I told him I wanted, you know, a CBC with differential platelets. I wanted a lipid panel. I wanted a metabolic panel. I wanted a vitamin panel and a women's panel. But at the women's panel, he told me he was not going to give me a women's panel, and even questioned why I wanted one. I said, well, because I know that low estrogen, low testosterone can cause an elevation in blood pressure. I also told him I also want a vitamin panel, and most important on the vitamin panel to me is magnesium and vitamin D, because I've been having really bad, you know, leg cramps, but the leg cramps come from the alkalosis, I'm told, or I've read. That's one of the symptoms of alkalosis, these night cramps that I get in my leg that just won't let me go. And he said, well, I'm not going to give you a woman's panel. I would never give you a woman's panel because low estrogen does not cause high blood pressure. Now, I wanted to challenge him and say to him, you know, according to the medical journals, from which I'm guessing you learned from the American Medical Association and their papers, their abstracts, their journals, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is what you learned from, and this is what I've read from, and this has told me that low estrogen, low testosterone can cause high blood pressure, menopause, and many of the components of being menopausal can cause high blood pressure. But you're refusing to give me a women's panel. And so I asked him why he wouldn't give it to me. He said, I would never give you that. He said, it just doesn't happen. I said, okay. He said, but I want you to come back in a couple of weeks, get your blood pressure checked. He said, I won't be here. Today is my last day, and I will be out for a knee replacement. That's all I needed to hear. Today was his last day. I came back a week later. There was a woman there. I explained my situation and my concerns, and she said, oh, sure, we'll get you everything. We'll get you FSH, we'll get you LH, progesterone, testosterone, estrogen, vitamin D, because, you know, vitamin D is a hormone too. We'll test all your hormones. You know, she was for it. She was about it. And the thing about it was, she wasn't even a nurse. She wasn't a doctor. She was a physician's assistant, okay, filling in for him. But everything I asked for, she gave to me. The only other thing I wanted to ask for, but I forgot, was a cortisol check, because I wanted to see what my cortisol levels were, because sometimes I just feel like my muscles are just tense, and I'm, you know, it's like I was laying in bed one night and I was like, why are you like, relax? And I went, and I relaxed. But then a few seconds later, again, I was like, why are my muscles tensing up on me like that? So, you know, of course, again, I wanted to get my magnesium tested. And this is, and the reason why I'm bringing this to you is because, as I said in the beginning, I wish somebody had told me about all of this, because when all these things started happening, I'm like, why? Why are these things happening? What is going on? And then it dawned on me, a lot of this is menopausal. You know, anxiety, feeling stress, and there's no stress in my home, so there's no reason for me to be stressed. It's peaceful here. We're peaceful. You know, we're good. So I'm like, why do I feel so stressed? Why is my blood pressure so high? And when the first doctor did my lab work, everything came back normal, with the exception of my vitamin D, and a few other things I wrote down. I'll go over them in just a moment. But I could not understand how everything was good. Cholesterol was great. Vitamin D was great. I mean, cholesterol, the things people always look for and talk about: cholesterol, sodium, A1C, and glucose. Perfect. Glucose was 94 or 90. No, it was 90. I'm normally between 84 and 90 fasting glucose. My A1C, 5.3. I came from 6.0. Do you know there are people who are on medication who are at 6.0, being almost diabetic, and they can't even get down to like 5.9, 5.7, 5.8, even on medication. I took no medication to get my A1C3 down. I came from 6.0 down to 5.3, and that's where I am currently. Glucose 90, A1C 5.3, insulin was 16, normal. Sodium 140, and cholesterol was a little high for me. It was 164. You're supposed to be at 200, or between 140 and 200 is normal total cholesterol, okay? My total cholesterol for some reason was 164. I'm usually at 154, between 149 and 154. I don't know, maybe I ate something crazy. You know, it might have been the oxtails, and you know oxtails, they kind of fatty, right? So I don't know what it was, but that was the highest it's ever been since, you know, I got off the vegan diet. But it was 164, still normal. My HDL was nice and high. My LDL was nice and low. VLDL was good. Oh, my iron was off by 0.9, and they test 5 different things to determine whether you're having an issue with iron or anemia, and they test your saturation, platelets, red blood cell, white blood cell, MCH, and MCHC. And it was my MCHC that was off by 0.9. You're supposed to be at 31.5 to something, and mine was 30.9. So I'm off by, or 30.5. I'm off by, all I know is that I'm low by 0.9, and all the other 4 factors were normal. Some of them were a little bit low, like the folate and folic acid. It was normal, but it was on the low side, okay? But the MCHC was definitely low. And it was only low by 0.9. But when you compile all these things, low iron, low vitamin D, low testosterone, you got 3 things working against you, it can really have a negative impact on you and make you feel like you just don't feel all that hot, you know. So the first doctor, the man doctor, gave me, you know, everything that I asked for except for the women's panel. And so when I waited a week and went to see the physician's assistant, and she gave me the women's panel, he left off the magnesium and the cholesterol, and she put that on there too as well. So in a month or so, I'm going to go back and get all these things checked again. My concerns are the testosterone, which was low. My iron was low. My vitamin D was low. Now, the lowest I have ever been in 15 years was 8. And that's when I was vegan. I was only 8 when I was vegan. And I mean, I laid out in the sun. I made the concoction. We used to go to Virginia Beach every August for the Greek party. And we had this concoction that me and my girlfriends made. It was banana boat, baby oil, and what was it? Banana boat, baby oil, and cocoa butter. We used to mix these 3 things together. We used to slather it head to toe. Lay in the sun for hours. We didn't know nothing about sunburn. We didn't get sunburned. We would lay in the sun all day. And Greek party lasts, I think, 3 days. Okay, 2 or 3 days at Virginia Beach. And we still lay out in the sun. And I mean, I would be chocolate. Really chocolate, okay? And my skin tone would just be this one beautiful, even color. So when I was vegan, I would make the same concoction. I couldn't tan to save my life. I could not get a tan to save my life. It didn't matter how long I laid out there. All I would get is these big red wheels on my legs. That's it. And that would happen in about an hour. And then I'd have to go in the house. Couldn't even tan when I was vegan. So if I couldn't tan, I'm guessing that my body couldn't turn, the cholesterol that I had, the good cholesterol that I had, into vitamin D, because that's how vitamin D is made. It's made from cholesterol. When you're trying to manufacture it yourself within your own body, your body changes cholesterol into vitamin D. So anyway, but I'm telling you these things, but I want you to research these things, because I used to say, and I'm going to continue to say, don't believe what I say, research or what I say. Okay? It's so important because, especially right now, people are parroting so much. I mean, and you hear the same things over and over. You hear mucus, you hear detoxification, detoxification, mucus, inflammation, and people are just parroting what they're hearing, and they're not giving you any science. They're not giving you any foundation or basis. And listen, let me tell you something. Let's do a check, okay? Because this, okay, is a gift, all right? And I have to be very honest with you. When I was vegan, and especially a year after I came off the vegan diet, when I got off the vegan diet, I was eating everything. I mean, everything. Butter, milk, mac and cheese with cheese and cream cheese, sauce, 10 different cheeses. And, I was just, and I put on a lot of weight post my vegan stage because I had gotten scared. I'm like, oh my God, look at me. I'm finally figuring out that this diet is killing me. And so I got scared and I started eating everything, right? So then, I found out about that keto thing, and that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that. I'm going to be back because we're going to talk, okay? But let's just do a check, not from the neck up, but from the feet up. Let me back up so you can see what a sister working with right now, okay? Stay right there. Don't you move. Don't move. Stay there. Okay, how far back I got to go? Oh, see, then it gets dark. Okay, well, you can see me from my feet right here, okay? Bam! Bam! All right, I'm not trying to show you everything, but... And see, we still got this right here to go. But it's going, because look, let me tell y'all something. There was a time when this thing right here was down here when I walked. Not just when I sat down, but when I walked, my belly was in my lap. Okay? I've come a long way. I've come a mighty, mighty long way. Okay? You know, see, I still got my tummy, and all I got on is some cotton panties. Okay? That's it. So there's no girdle, no nothing. But I've come a long, 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 long way. And I think it's pretty cute. You know what? I have never, ever complained or felt anything bad about my body. I've never, even when I was heavier, you know, I'm 184 now. Okay? But I've never felt ashamed or felt bad about what my body looked like because, you know, I don't know. How do you carry being overweight so well? You know, because I've heard that before. Really? That's how much you weigh? Well, you carry it well. Well, I might carry it well, but at one point I didn't feel very well. And that's why, henceforth, I started, you know, the vegan thing. And, you know, I lost weight being vegan, but, you know, when people are suffering from malnutrition, they will lose weight, you know, and you'll have a honeymoon, and then the honeymoon is over, and things start. And but anyway, so we find out the blood pressure is high, we get on blood pressure medication, and in my mind, I'm telling myself, okay, I got this blood pressure medication today, but tomorrow we are going to go get the lab work, and we're going to figure out what the heck is going on, because the goal is not to remain on blood pressure medicine, but to get off of blood pressure medicine, because we're going to figure out what's going on internally. And the only way for me to do that, the way that I do it, the way that the way that I stay healthy is to get lab work done. Is that a message? Hold on, let me get my glasses. Did y'all know I can't see? Where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? I just had them. Oh, here they go. YouTube is always messing stuff up and moving stuff around. What does that say? Black alien crackhead gone wild again. Oh, hey, how you doing? Okay, so let's do this. Let's, Wait, hold on. Okay. Okay, so cool. Anyway, so once I found out, well, before I found out, let me just say, when I found out that my blood pressure was high, I said the next thing that we need to do is to get the labs done, figure out what's going on, and then I can work from there. This is how I get healthy. This is how I take care of me. And that's what I decided to do. And when I got the labs done, I found out that my estrogen was low, vitamin D was low, and what else? Estrogen, vitamin D, and iron. Iron was low. Now, they were all, the only thing that was really, really low was the vitamin D. Your vitamin D is supposed to be, it used to be between 30 and 77 nanograms of vitamin D for every milliliter of blood you have in your body. But now they've changed it from 33 to 77 to 30 to 100. And I don't know why my lab changed it. I stick with the same lab because I like this lab. I have a patient portal where I can see my lab results the next day. And I don't have to wait for the doctor to call me, or, sometimes people don't know how to deliver bad news. Like if there's something bad on your lab work, they don't know how to deliver bad news, right? So they'll call you and get you upset and scare you. So I like to see the lab work before the doctor does. And that's how I do that. What I was saying was they changed it from 30 to 77 to 30 to 100. The lowest I've ever been at on my vitamin D was 8. And that was when I was vegan. Hang on one second. Let's see what this says. Do I use herbs to reduce BP? No, I don't. I'm just trying to figure out what's causing. I don't want to take any herbs. I don't want to take any supplements or medications for my blood pressure. I see what you're trying to say, and I appreciate you asking. But I don't want to take anything. I want to find out why it's high. Fix that and get back to being 112/60 or 116/70. That's what I want to do. I do have some things, but I didn't take them. Let me show you what I have. I don't know what you had in mind, but I did purchase some things, and I purchased them for the sake of the menopause, not for the blood pressure. So I don't know if you consider these things for blood pressure, but let's see. What do I have? I have Evening Primrose, still in the plastic, hasn't been opened. I have Black Cohosh. I have more Black Cohosh. I prefer the Cohosh tea. I really don't like these pills. And then I have Wild Yam. I don't know if those are for high blood pressure. I do know that they are for menopause. But what did you have in mind? Because, I can always research and look at and see if it'll be a fit. I just have to make sure it's safe for, what I'm taking. But the whole goal, again, is to get off of what they have given me, because I don't want to be on this medication. It is physically addicting. And I was surprised that they didn't even have it labeled as a Schedule II drug. But it acts on your central nervous system. And I don't like that at all, because your central nervous system is responsible for you breathing, your kidneys working, your liver working, all the things that you don't have to think about working and moving. That's what your central nervous system takes care of. So it slows the central nervous system. And I know when I took that first pill, I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden I was like, but I've got, I think, like 4 pills left, and I think I'm done at that point. So I'm going to ask them to switch me over to something else, because I just don't like what I'm taking. Hold on. Why do I keep losing my glasses? 1 second. All right. What did I do with the glasses? I just had them. Here we go. I'm going to hang them on my blouse, then I won't lose them. Okay. And Goddess Rising, welcome and thank you for coming in. I did not greet you. Thank you so much for coming in. Hold on. I don't have things in mind per se, but I take some for other reasons, and the description of some say reduced BP. Oh, okay. I'm just wondering, since you have the ability to test at home, if you've had any results. Oh, no, I haven't tested at home. I went to my doctor's office and told them what I wanted tested. And, like I said, these doctors, they make me so anxious, because a couple of months ago, I think it was back in August and then again in March, I went to the doctor's office and they told me Well, we're not accustomed to patients coming in here telling us what they want tested, you know. And I had to tell my doctor, I said, well, you know, this is my body, and I appreciate any suggestions that you have, and I will take those into consideration if there's something you want to have tested. But there's also things that I think are important that I need to know that I want to have tested. And in order for me to be healthy mentally, I need to know that whatever I want tested, I can get tested. I need to know that whatever I get tested comes back normal. And if it's not normal, what are we going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? Okay? So, and I just get so anxious and so upset when I have to have these tug of wars with these doctors about what I want tested. No, I'm not the doctor. But there are things that I may have some history with, like my vitamin D. The lowest my vitamin D got to was 8. That's dangerously low. My calcium got down to a 1. My calcium, thanks be to Yahweh, is 9. Milk, cheese, cream, heavy fat, full fat, no 50% fat, no 20% fat. I'm talking full on cow fat. Okay? And listen, I know we have been told, you know, meat causes the body to acidify. You get acidic, you're acidic, mucus, detoxification. We hear all of these things, but I have to tell you, I'm the proof. The proof is in the pudding, and the blood is the pudding. I am the proof, okay? If meat causes the body to become acidic, I should not have alkalosis. And I have alkalosis, okay? I should not have alkalosis. I eat meat twice a day. Sometimes I eat 2 different types of meat in one sitting. It might be a little piece of steak, you know, a little hunk of steak like that, and a chicken leg or a chicken thigh. But I eat meat twice a day, every day. And the other thing I found out is that my stomach acid is low. I have to have either ACV, apple cider vinegar, with my food. So I have to eat a little food, take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, or I have to take some betaine, what do you call that? Betaine hydrochloride, which is acid. You know, your stomach makes hydrochloric acid, right? So you can buy betaine hydrochloride if you don't have enough stomach acid to digest your food, because, you know, people are trying so hard to alchemize themselves by drinking alkaline water, eating alkaline foods, but your body is way smarter than we are, okay? And your body has checks and balances that keep you from going too far alkaline or going acidic, okay? But when those things get out of whack, that checks and balances gets out of whack for some reason due to illness, whatever. A lot of cancer patients develop ammonia in the blood. Ammonia develops in the blood when you become too alkaline. When you go way past 7.5 and you start going up to 8 and 9, you know, that's called alkalosis. And that's the way I'm headed right now. I've been at 8 for a long time, and I have not researched what I need to do to get back down to being 7.5, because I don't want my blood to turn to ammonia. But sometimes they have to give medications to cancer patients to keep their blood from turning to ammonia because they go alkaline. So when we hear and when we heard Dr. Sebi say, you know, cancer cannot exist in an alkaline environment, it can't. It cannot. Because once you get so far alkaline, your blood turns to ammonia. If you've ever smelled ammonia, if you know what ammonia is, that stuff is caustic. If you put a cancer cell or some cancer cells in a petri dish and then poured ammonia on top of it, of course that ammonia is going to kill that cancer. So he was right in saying that cancer cells cannot exist in an alkaline environment. He was right in saying that. That's absolutely 1,000% true. Because at that point, when you become so far alkaline, when you get up to 9 and 10, 11, 12, your blood is turning to ammonia. And cancer can't live in an ammonia, in a body filled with ammonia, and neither can you. Both y'all going to cancer and the ammonia. You know what I'm saying? So he was right in saying that, but he needed to explain it in the right context, and I don't think he ever did. I never heard him explain it that way, but that's what it is. You know, your stomach, you have different pHs all over your body. Your mouth has a pH. Your stomach has a pH. Your stomach should be acidic. If your stomach is anywhere above 4, okay, your stomach acid should be between 1.0 and 3.0. Anything higher than that, your stomach's going towards alkaline. Anything higher than that, you're not digesting your food. You're not absorbing nutrition from your food. You have to have the acid to break the food down, to assimilate the nutrition and absorb the nutrition from the food that you ate. If your body is not acidic, if your stomach is not acidic between 1.0 and 3.0, you're not absorbing nutrition. You're not getting what you need from your food. Okay, you're eating it and you're defecating it out. Okay? And nothing's been absorbed. So your stomach acid needs to be between 1.0 and 3.0. So I either have to, and because my stomach acid is about 4 right now, I have to take either apple cider vinegar with my food or betaine hydrochloric acid, betaine hydrochloride. Or the other thing I thought of, because I didn't have the betaine, I didn't have the apple cider vinegar. So I just took some vitamin C, ascorbic acid. And just for clarification, ascorbic acid, vitamin C, same thing. One is not different from the other. Ascorbic acid is vitamin C. I think there's some misconception out there, and I've heard it put out that they're different, or they're vitamin C, ascorbic acid, ascorbic acid is the same as vitamin C. Same thing. So what I was doing was I was taking vitamin C because it's acidic, and I take that with my food, and that was helping me to digest, and I felt better when I took the vitamin C with my food to help me digest and absorb nutrition. So, yeah, that's important. I don't have, like to compare to the medication. It's terrible that a doctor would even say no to a concern in general. I know, I just, this is how I take care of me. The way that I take care of me is to know what's going on internally. And the only way I can know what's going on internally is to get my lab work done, and then address and when you get your lab work, if anybody does lab work on you, make sure you ask for a copy, get a copy, sign into your patient portal, and you look at it. Try to get it before they get it, so you can process what you're looking at in your own time or at your own pace. And let me tell you what I do. When I get my lab work back, I go through my lab work and I look for all blue dots. If it's in the blue, I know I'm good. This is how this particular lab works. Everybody prepares a different type of legend for you to read your lab work. And it's very easy to read. They're going to tell you what your number is, and they're going to tell you what's high, what's low, and where you should fall at, right? But I look for all blue dots on mine. If there's a yellow dot, that's a warning. So I'll stop and see the yellow dot, and I'm like, oh, okay, vitamin D has dropped again. We were at 29.7. I have yet to hit 30. I'm trying. I've tried. Not really. I haven't really tried. And there's a reason for that. But I was at 29.7 at one point, and then I dropped down to 28.6. Then I dropped down to 25.5, and now I'm at 18, which is not, it's not good. That's not good. That's half of where I need to be. And I'm working my hardest to get my vitamin D level up, so I have some padding. I don't want to just get to 30. You're supposed to be between 30 and 100, so I'd feel good if I was at like 50. So I'm going to try to get it to 50, but it's difficult for me because I have a problem with vitamin D. It causes me to feel bad. I get headaches. And I also looked up what are the side effects of taking vitamin D. And the things that I'm experiencing when I take the vitamin D, it causes me a problem. So instead of taking vitamin D, I went out and bought some cod liver oil. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. I don't need it. But anyway, I went out and purchased some cod liver oil. And the reason why I bought this was for a couple of reasons. I was having a hard time taking in the vitamin D, so I thought maybe this might be better, or it might be easier for me to take and not have any side effects. But it's still the same thing because this is 1,000 IUs of vitamin D3. And the vitamin D3 I purchased by itself is 1,000 IUs. So it's still the same thing. But here, you get extra benefits taking cod liver oil. And I changed the way that I take it, and it's easier on my system. Cod liver oil has vitamin A. You gotta be careful with that. You don't want too much vitamin A. It has vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E as D-alpha tocopherol. It doesn't say it has the tocotrienols. I don't see tocotrienols on here, but you need tocotrienols with your vitamin E. So I don't know if this is the best one. But anyway, and it also has total omega-3 fatty acids, which are very important. And it also has DHA, which is very important to menopausal, postmenopausal women. I don't remember why DHA is important to us, but it is. But it's got all of that. DHA, vitamin A, D, and E, and omega-3 fatty acids. So the way I take it is I take one of the capsules, I pierce it with a pin, a sterilized, safety pin, and then I just rub it above my heart. I rub it into my wrist, and then I rub it into my jugular. Jugular is on the left, right? Yeah, I rub it into my jugular area, jugular vein, above my heart, and on my wrist. And I absorb it through my skin instead of taking it orally. And that, when I do it that way, I don't have the side effects. I don't get the headache. I don't get the feeling like someone has stomped on my foot. I just don't get the side effects that I've been having. So, and I learned to take it that way because I was also breaking out into hives while I was vegan. And I learned that being vitamin D deficient can cause hives. So one night I had broken out into hives, and I broke open the cap, the little gel cap, and I rubbed it on the hive. And normally it takes anywhere from 5 to 7 days for the whelps to go away. When I get the hives, the whelp was gone in 30 seconds. It was gone in absolutely 30 seconds. And the pharmacist said, if the whelp went away that quick, that means you are really, really vitamin D deficient. Your body really needed that. If the whelp went away that quick. I said it did. Normally I have to wait 5 to 7 days. But anyway, so when I found out what was low, then I said, okay, I can go ahead and start taking care of myself now, get the things that I'm short on, get the things that I need, and that should help bring the blood pressure down. And as the blood pressure comes down, I'm going to start weaning off the medication. And then I had one doctor tell me, she even said to me, the one that gave me the women's panel, she even said to me, I'm really surprised that your blood pressure is even high because your A1C is beautiful, your cholesterol, your sodium, your sugar, your glucose, your insulin, everything is perfect and normal. She said, I'm really surprised that your blood pressure is high. Oh, and the other good thing about vitamin E is that it is a blood thinner. So if you're worried about blood clots and things like that, vitamin E helps to thin the blood out. There's something else that does that too, but I can't remember. But I know for a fact vitamin E is a blood thinner, so you have to be careful with that. So if you're already taking medications that are blood thinners, you got to be careful. And you really have to be careful taking supplements with blood pressure medications, because I had a girlfriend of mine who ended up in intensive care. She was on blood pressure medication. I don't know which one, but she was also taking St. John's wort. I don't know what she was taking the St. John's wort for, but she was taking that and she ended up in intensive care. Matter of fact, she was on the news. She was on that show called 60 Minutes, and I think her name is Eleanor. And it was on 60 Minutes, and they were talking about how supplements can be dangerous with certain medications. It's still in circulation. It's probably on YouTube. But her name was Eleanor. And they were talking about St. John's wort and supplements and, blood pressure medications, things like that, mixing together, and that, it could be dangerous. You have to check with your pharmacist, check with your doctor, and check for yourself. Because sometimes, they miss things, But I have my... Oh, and the other thing, the bad muscle cramps. When I eat something sweet, now I can't have any sugar. No sugar. I've not had any sugar in 1 year and 6 months. It has been 1 year and 3 months. Who's smoking? Oh, I thought I smelled cigarette smoke. I got my window open. But it's been 1 year and 6 months since I've had any table sugar. I can't do sugar. I can't do flour. I get really, really sick. And to be honest with you, I don't miss it. Knowing what I know now about what flour does in your gut, what sugar does to your blood pressure, what sugar does to your eyesight. A lot of people don't know that sugar causes the blood vessels to constrict in your body. Those little blood vessels in your eyes also constrict when you consume sugar. And if they constrict too much or for too long, you can end up going blind or having issues in seeing. But yeah, any diabetic doctor will tell you that sugar is very bad for the eyes and the eyesight. So as I said, I don't miss the sugar. Every now and then I want an ice cream cone or just some ice cream, but I know how to make my own ice cream. But even what I make, if I eat more than, I'd say 6 ounces of ice cream, it'll come back to me. And I make my ice cream with 3 ingredients. I make it with kefir, plain kefir, no sugar. Sometimes I do one with a little flavor in it, like the mango or the raspberry. But I do the kefir, and it's kefir, banana, mango, peach. But the 2 main ingredients are the kefir and the banana. And then I'll either do mango or peach or strawberry with it. And everything is frozen except for the kefir. You can freeze the kefir if you want to, but I say don't do it. And I mean, this ice cream comes out creamier than anything you could buy at the store. It's perfectly sweet. And unfortunately, the kefir that I buy, they sweeten it with stevia. And that's why I say I can't have very much of it because they put stevia in it. If I could find just the kefir with nothing, that would make the perfect ice cream, because when you have gone so long without sugar, you don't need it. You appreciate the flavor more than you do the sugar, because I've attempted to lap up a little bit of soda. Like I bought this cherry soda. I buy soda once every couple of months, and it's only 1 can of soda for my husband and 1 for my daughter. We drink water, we drink tea, that's it. I do no sugar, nothing. But I bought a soda and I wanted to taste the cherry soda. I took some of the cherry soda and poured it in a little teaspoon and I went like this, I said. And I was sick that night and all day the next day, just from going like that. And then I took a napkin and I wiped my tongue off and I still had a problem. I'll talk about the side effects of me eating sugar because it's not bad. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous. And that's why I haven't had a problem in staying away from sugar, because the side effects of me eating sugar is dangerous. So, yeah. So I'm taking care of myself. I'm taking, one of the side effects I get when I eat something that I've had too much of, like the one thing that I can eat is sweet potato. But I can only have sweet potato every other day, every 2 days. I can't eat it every day. I can't eat it twice a day or else I'm going to have problems. Even just the sweet potato, even a banana or strawberry, I have to eat it once every 2 days and that's it, right? But this one particular night, I couldn't help myself. I could not. I made 3 sweet potatoes and they were big. They were like about that big around. I did what I do with them, and when I make my sweet potatoes, I bake them. I'll tell you how I fix them later, but they're good, they're sweet. You don't need any sugar. There's so much flavor. It is really, really good. And I had more than my fair share. I had 3 servings of sweet potato. I think I ate 2.5 sweet potatoes by myself. And that night, I was sitting right over there after dinner, on that chair over there, had my blanket covering me up, watching the TV. We were all sitting here, and I got that feeling. It woke me up, and it's a feeling of uncomfortability, and it came in my thigh, and I told my daughter, please go upstairs and get the phone. This is what I use, TheraWorks, okay? She ran upstairs because she knows what it is. My husband knows what it is. She ran upstairs, got the TheraWorks. My husband went over here and got the Smart Water because I can't do Gatorade. It's got, those substitute sugars in there. He's giving me water. He's rubbing my leg. My daughter comes downstairs with the TheraWorks, and I'm rubbing my leg, and I'm hollering, I'm hopping, I'm trying to walk, I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm bent over, I'm trying to stand up. I'm calling on Yahweh. Oh my goodness. So once I put the TheraWorks on, it takes about 2 minutes for it to, soak into the muscle. And so after it was over, I went upstairs, I laid down, got in bed, and I went to sleep. And I fell asleep for about an hour. And this was the first time I had had more than one of these muscle cramps. And I was laying in the bed, and when I woke up, I went, and I went to stretch, caught another cramp. But this time it caught me on the inside of my thigh and went all the way up to my groin. Oh my God, I just knew somebody was going to call the police. I have never in my life, maybe on a roller coaster ride, maybe, but I have never in my life screamed like that. I mean, it was blood curdling. The scream that I let out was blood curdling. And I'm screaming and I'm rubbing, and my husband's trying to get me to drink the water, and he's trying to help me to walk it off. And these cramps that I get, I can't walk off. And this is a part of the alkalosis, right? I can't walk these cramps off. I cannot walk them off. Most people, when they get a cramp, they can, point their toes up towards the ceiling or point their toes or walk it off. No matter what position I get into, no matter how I walk, no mustard, no hot water, no nothing. The only thing that works is the TheraWorks. I got to rub it in and just wait it out and try to walk it off. But this was the second cramp within an hour. And the only thing I thought to do was to bend over like this. And when I bent over, it seemed to go away, right? And then when I tried to stand up, that cramp said, no, get back, no. Down, now. Down there. Not done with you yet. Oh my Lord. I screamed and I screamed and I screamed and I hollered, and I don't know. I couldn't, even when I was in labor, I didn't scream. I couldn't scream when I was in labor. I was just laying there doing this. You know how they pull the railing up on the side of the bed so you don't fall out the bed? I was just doing this. And I was banging on the railing. I wanted to scream when I was in labor. I could not scream. When labor pains hit you, all you can do is just give in and surrender. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. But this night I screamed so hard, so loud, and it just wore me out. And then I went back to sleep after that. We got that one to go away. Then a third one came around. I'm like, oh my Lord. And when I got the third one, I jumped up out the bed, because when I get these cramps, if I don't get up out the bed, I won't get up out the bed, because I will be in a state where I can't move, you know. So I jumped up out the bed and I walked around a little bit and it went away. It lasted for like maybe 30 seconds and I was good. So the next morning was when I went and got the rest of my labs done, my FSH, my LH, the hormone panel for women. I got that done, and I got the magnesium done, because I'm thinking I got to be low on magnesium also, because I keep catching the cramps. But again, the cramps come from the alkalosis, the alkaline. You know, I got to find out what to do to get myself back down to 7.5. I haven't read that part yet. There's just been so many other things going on that I'm trying to focus in on. I had not focused in on that part yet. But I've got my cod liver oil. Oh, and I said, I got my magnesium tested. My magnesium is low, but it's normal. It's on the low side of normal. It needs to be built up a little bit, I guess. But I've tried taking magnesium before, and just like the vitamin D, when I take the vitamin D and I take the magnesium, I have these side effects. I just have this overall malaise. I can't explain it. It feels like someone's squeezing my head, and I just have this overall malaise, this sense of just, I don't feel well. So, don't you hate it when you talk for a long time and your lipstick gets all crusty? I'm sorry. But yeah, the magnesium is normal, but it's low. I can't take magnesium by itself. The lowest dose that I could find by itself was 450 milligrams. So I was talking to the pharmacist, telling her about my situation. She said, oh, go get the Wenaday for women. I was like, really? She was like, yeah. I was like, bet. So I went and picked up the Wenaday, and it has magnesium in it. It's got all the things that I really need. It has magnesium in it, and it's only 45 milligrams as opposed to 450 milligrams in the one capsule. So I was just so grateful and so thankful that I stopped and talked to this pharmacist, and that she told me to go pick up the Wenaday, because I'm looking at all these vitamins. I'm in the vitamin store looking at all these vitamins and asking, do you have a vitamin with a low dose of magnesium? And well, no, yes, no. Here's one over here, but it's 450 milligrams. I'm like, that's too much. I just need a low dose that I can take over a period of time. So I found the Wenaday, and I used to take Wenadays when I was a kid. My mom used to give them to me. I know I've been talking more than an hour. That timer did not work. But anyway, sometimes I forget to press start. But anyway, the Wenaday has 45 micrograms. Is it micrograms or milligrams? It's either microgram or milligram. I think it's milligram of magnesium. And that's been doing pretty good. I feel, relaxed. And, I haven't taken the black cohosh, the wild yam. I haven't taken the evening primrose, and I've not taken the ashwagandha. Just taking the vitamins that I'm short on, and the blood pressure medicine, but I've only got like 3 left of the blood pressure medicine, and I'm going to have to be weaned off of it. And I'm looking forward to being weaned off of it because I didn't want to be on it in the first place. But I needed something to cover me because my blood pressure was high. My blood pressure should not have been 170 over 100 while laying down. But as I said, I learned that menopause, and in specific, at low estrogen and low testosterone, will cause high blood pressure. Okay? I learned vitamin D. When you look up symptoms of low vitamin D, one of the first things that comes up is high blood pressure. If you go to Dr. Berg's page, if you go to Dr. Ken Berry's page, first thing they say out the gate, off the rip, off the dome, is that if you have low vitamin D, one of the signs is going to be high blood pressure. Okay? So, I have a number of factors working, sending my blood pressure up. And that would be low testosterone, low vitamin D, low iron. And you have to remember also, when you have low iron, that's very dangerous, if you're low all across the board. I'm only low in one area, and that's the MCHC. But if you're low across the board, that's considered critical, and you could have a stroke. And I didn't know that until this lady who was a nurse, she's not practicing anymore. She told me, you have to watch that anemia, because that's nothing to play with. She said you need to get that under control, because you could have a stroke if you're anemic, and it goes unchecked. So, I've had a lot of angels walk in my life and help me along the way and give me information and advice that I could research for myself. Don't just take and believe what you hear people say, because a lot of people will tell you, oh, I feel wonderful, I feel great, I'm eating this and I'm eating that, and I feel great. But you never see these people exercise. You never see these people, really, really putting in the work, And like I said, when it comes to exercise, I don't exercise to lose weight. I exercise for stamina. I exercise for heart health. I exercise so I can get a good night's sleep. I exercise so I can have a wonderful, glorious bowel movement in the morning. Okay? These are the reasons why I exercise. But the reasons why I exercise has nothing to do with weight loss, because I don't think that's what exercise is for. Check my video. It's like maybe 4 or 5 videos back where I talk about don't exercise to lose weight, and I give you the full reasons why I believe you should exercise. But the one reason you should not exercise is to lose weight. You should exercise for healthy mental or healthy cognitive function. You should exercise for healthy cognitive function. You should exercise for stamina, strength, endurance, a good night's sleep, a wonderful bowel movement in the morning, okay? Those are some of the reasons why I believe we should exercise, okay? And I always think to myself, what if there was some type of an emergency and I needed to run somewhere for safety? Would I be able to do it? Heck, yes, Father, I can. Yes, I can. Okay? I've gotten on my channel lots of times and exercised for an hour on the elliptical. Exercising to music on the elliptical, to the music. I dance. I get on the elliptical. I walk. I run. I try to get in 10,000 steps, but normally it falls around 4,000-5,000 a day. And I'm talking about, when I say steps, I'm talking about intentional walking. I'm not talking about, okay, I got up and walked to the refrigerator. Okay, I got up and walked to the car. Add that up, that comes to about 38 steps. No, I'm talking about intentional. I'm walking here. Get out of the way. I'm walking. I'm walking. This is, I'm walking, But yeah, this is how I take care of me. And if this helps you in any way, I say go for it. I can't take care of me if I don't know me. I can't do what's best for me if I don't know what's going on with me. So the best way for me to know what's going on is to get my lab work done. My labs tell me I'm either healthy or I'm not. I'm too high on this and I'm too low on that. I'm doing well on this. This temple, this body is a gift. And I have to do the best. I want to do the best to take care of this gift, this temple. And for me, I'm not telling anybody they need to do nothing, okay? But for me, I got to know what's going on internally. I want everything tested from the rooter to the tutor, okay? In terms of lab work, because there's certain things I'm not going to let you do because they're just too invasive, and some I just think are downright, I don't know. I just think, I don't know. Some people are just nasty. But I'm feeling better. Every now and then I'll have a day like, what's going on? And then it'll, shift back to being what it needs to be. But honestly, I need to be close to the equator. I do. I got to figure something out because, we're getting ready to get hit with the cold weather in another month or so. I think the first frost is in November. And, so I got to figure something out. I'm not too keen about this cold weather. Let me see. Hold on. That's why I'm cautious with very popular gurus, especially the ones backed by celebs. Yep, they give half-truths that become sayings, and people take it and run because, you know what? I'm glad you said it because I wanted to say it. I forgot to say it, but you just said it. You just said it. Let me read it again, okay? That's why, hold on. That's why I'm cautious with very popular, and they don't even really have to be popular, but yeah, that's why I'm cautious with very popular gurus, especially the ones backed by celebrities or, these new food industries coming up with these lab-made meats and things like that. They give half-truths that become sayings, and people take it and run. Let me read it again. That's why I'm cautious with the very popular gurus, especially the ones backed by celebrities. They give half-truths that become sayings, and people take it and run. Yes, they do, because people don't want to do their own work. Let me tell you, we have become such a lazy society, we don't want to read. I'm sorry. We don't want to read. Let me finish this. Hold on. We don't want to read. We don't want to listen. We want someone to spoon feed us information. That's what we want. Sorry about that. We want to be spoon-fed information. We don't want to read anything. We don't want to do our own research. We just. What did you do? How did you lose the weight? What did you do? No. I don't want to get the book. Just tell me what you did. Just tell me. And again, as I've always said, when you're getting information from people, whether it's someone you meet on the street, someone you meet at the market, someone you meet on YouTube or any social media platform, I always say, consider the source. And when I say consider the source, I'm not going to mince words. Is this person learning? Is this person educated? Can this person put together a sentence, a few sentences with ease, or is it difficult? You cannot teach somebody a particular subject if you don't yourself know the lingo, the jargon of the subject matter that you're teaching. If you're talking to someone and telling somebody, I'm going to teach you about fruits. Now, today we're going to talk about bononos. We're going to talk about eeples. We're going to talk about... Now, if the person can't even pronounce the words associated with the topics that they're discussing, How is anybody supposed to research what this person is talking about? If you're talking about fruit and you want this person to learn everything about the apple, but you're calling it an eeple, and they're looking for eeple in the dictionary, in the encyclopedia, on Wikipedia, Google, wherever, and they can't find it because you're talking about eeples and it's pronounced apples, consider the source. Consider the source. And here's the other part. People can tell you, oh, I feel wonderful, I feel great. Well, see, health is not based on, unfortunately, health is not altogether based on how you say you feel. Okay? Because anybody can tell you they're feeling great, they're feeling amazing, but in the background, something's going cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Or they're hoping, the person that's talking is hoping that something goes cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh, I feel amazing because I'm eating this, I'm eating that. I bought this product over here, and I'm eating this product over here, and it's got me feeling good. But you know what? I have learned, and it would help a lot of us if other people would follow this modality as well. If you're doing something and it's working, you don't have to beat nobody over the head about it. You don't have to call somebody else over here stupid or ignorant or sick or demented or crazy because they're doing this and you're doing that. And because they're not doing what you're doing, you got all this heat for them. If what you're doing works, all you got to do is come here, do your work, do it. And people will follow your lead and your example. You don't have to say nothing. It took me a minute to figure this out. I don't have to say nothing bad about nobody. I don't have to make any innuendos, any subliminal statements. I don't have to do that. All I have to do is come here, bring the information, share what I have to share, whether it's a recipe, something that happened to me, a book that I read. All I have to do is share the information, punch that time clock, and go home. I don't have to say nothing bad about nobody. I don't have to say nothing bad about nothing anybody else is doing if what I'm doing is working for me. I will be my best representative. I don't have to come here with a resume running out of my mouth. I lost 80 pounds. I did this. I did that. And I feel amazing. I feel wonderful. Oh, I feel great. I feel terrific. I got so much energy. I got this. All you got to do is come in and do the work. Your appearance, your stamina, the way you move or don't move, is evident to the people you're talking to. Like I said, some people, you never see them move. You never see them exercise. Little heel toe, here and there. But outside that, I don't have to come and beat nobody up. That's not my intention. That's not my motive. That's not what I want to do. I'm just sharing with you what I do, what I've done, where I've fallen, and how I've gotten back up. This is the come up, okay? What do they say? A setback is an opportunity for a come up or something like that. I should know because the guy who said it used to live in my neighborhood, Dr. Willie Jolly. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else I want to tell you because there was so much I wanted to say, so much I had to say. And I can't believe that I think I've said most of everything that I wanted to say. How far in are we? If I would just put my glasses on, my shirt on my head, I could see. Okay, so we're over an hour. But we're not doing too bad. And I don't think I'm being repetitive. I don't think I'm, just constantly saying the same thing over and over. I think I'm giving some good information that might be resourceful to somebody else. But I am going to repeat myself again and say to you, you got to do your own work. You have got to do your own work. Stop leaving it up to someone else to tell you how to take care of you. You need to be so in tune with your own self, your own body. When you don't feel well, when something's amiss, when something's afoot, you need to be able to tune into that and say, look, I don't feel right, and this is what I need to do. I didn't feel right. I took my blood pressure. It wasn't good. I said I need to go to the ER or to the doctor. Doctor's office was closed, and I knew they were just going to send me to the ER with my blood pressure high. And, I got some labs done in the ER. They said everything was fine. It wasn't. I found out then I had alkalosis, But let me tell you the story about what happened in the ER and why my blood pressure went up to 243 over 110. When I got to the ER, they triaged me, right? And my blood pressure was 170 still over 100 when I first got there, right? So they did my lab work. They did an EKG. I looked at the lab work. I looked at my EKG. And when you get an EKG done, look in either the top left corner or the top right corner, and it will say either normal or abnormal, or there'll be some other notes, right? You can read your own EKG. It will tell you either normal or abnormal. If it's abnormal, there'll be some other notes, so you can just talk to the doctor about why it's abnormal, right? So anyway, lab work, they said was normal. EKG, I saw it myself. It said normal. And I asked them for a copy of my lab work, and I looked at it myself. And anyway, after the lab work was done, the doctor, they said, we're going to sit you here in the hallway. I didn't even get a room. Not even a room with one of those dentist chairs that you can sit in. I didn't even get that. They just set me in the hallway in the emergency room area, and I was sitting across from the nurse's station. So the doctor comes and asks me some questions, and, is there any petit edema, and chest pains, jaw, neck, back pain, belly pain, because women get different symptoms when they're having a heart attack. Sometimes we get a pain in our belly. Sometimes we get a pain in our back. There's pain in the jaw that radiates down into the neck and into the arm here. So know the symptoms of a heart attack. Know the symptoms of a stroke. Go learn that. That's your homework for tonight. Know what your blood pressure is, okay? So anyway, the doctor comes. He's asking me questions. We're talking, yada, yada, yada. He says, okay, I'm going to give you some blood pressure medication. I asked him what it was. He told me. I said, okay, give me the lowest dose possible. I've had that before, and I wasn't even able to get my head up off the pillow. So he gave me the lowest dose, and I said to him, are you going to have me sit here for a while after I take the medication? He said, no, you can just go home. I said, well, the last time I took my pulse and blood pressure, my pulse was only 40. And I know that this medication acts on the central nervous system. And I don't want to crash or stroke out, and I'm at home. So he said, okay, well, we'll just have you sit in the waiting room for about 30 minutes. I was like, okay. Now, my daughter was with me, too. Never go to the hospital alone. Never, never, never. You shouldn't go to the doctor alone. Someone that knows you should be with you, okay? So anyway, he said, well, we'll have you sit here in the waiting room. So we went from sending me home to sitting me in the waiting room. So then the nurse comes over and she says, and no, the next thing he said, well, go ahead and give her the medication, but have her sit here across from the nurse's station. So we went from sending me home to sitting in the waiting room to sitting across from the nurse's station to the nurse coming out to me and saying, we're going to give you your medicine in just a little bit, but we're going to have you go back here in a room. And then they hooked me up to telemetry, which is what they should have done in the first place, especially when I told him that my pulse was only 44. Anyway, so this is where I'm getting anxious because I've had this medicine before. I know what it did to me. I could not lift my head up off the pillow. I could not get out the bed without help to get to the bathroom. So I said, please give me the lowest dose possible. I'm scared and I'm getting anxious. And I'm waiting. You know, the waiting part, you know, makes you even more anxious. I'm waiting for them to bring this medication to me. So I'm laying there on the bed. They've got me hooked up to telemetry, blood pressure cuff, pulse ox, heart monitor, and temperature, right? So one nurse comes in and she says, we're going to be bringing your medicine back in just a moment. And another nurse comes in and she's like, I need to just get the information off of your bracelet. At that very moment when she said that, the blood pressure cuff cut on. You know, it's the automatic one that cuts on that's hooked up to the, you know, monitor. The blood pressure cuff cut on, and she starts asking me a bunch of questions. How old are you? Are you feeling any, you know, chest pain right now? This, are you, and I just put my hands up like this. Don't ask me any questions while I'm having my blood pressure taken. I know you heard the blood pressure cuff come on. I know you did. You work here. You know how things operate. Okay? Don't ask me any questions at this moment. So she decided she wanted to verify the name on the patient bracelet. So the cuff is on this arm, the bracelet's on this arm, my blood pressure is being taken, and she starts fumbling with the bracelet after I told her just a moment. She starts fumbling with the bracelet, and I pull my arm back. When I pull my arm back, she still has her two fingers under the bracelet, and she's got her fist resting on my hand like this when I pull it back. When I pulled my arm back, she should have let me go. She did not. Blood pressure's going up. Mercury is going up, okay? Second by second by second. And she still got her hand resting on my wrist, okay? For the second time, I snatched my hand away from her and put it under the blanket because she's not getting the, the social cues. She's not getting the social cues. She's not picking up on them. So I pulled my hand back and put it under the cover. The thing takes my blood pressure, and at that moment, it was 243 over 110. And like I said, I've never seen anybody's blood pressure that high. Never heard of anybody's blood pressure being that high, and they weren't having a stroke or a heart attack or something. Never heard of that. Now, outside of feeling agitated and angry with this person who's grappling at me and pulling on me and, you know, trying to do what she wants to do when she wants to do it, while I'm trying to just lay here and be calm and quiet like I'm supposed to be when my blood pressure is taken. Nobody should be asking questions. Nobody should be fumbling around with any part of your body or person when your blood pressure is being taken. So I snatched my arm back. I put it under the cover. So then, once the blood pressure was taken, I put my arm out. And then she didn't ask if she could look at my bracelet. She just decided that's what she was going to do. She grabs at the bracelet again, and she's holding my arm here and then pulling at the bracelet there. And I'm like, you know what? In my mind, this is what I'm saying. You're getting too familiar. You're engaging too much with my person, with my skin. You're doing too much in terms of touching me. If I don't know you, if you're not my husband, if you're not my child, if you're not my grandchild, a friend that I know, you know, and we got it like that, you know, where I'll give you a hug, you know, a peck on the cheek. If I don't know you like that, I don't want you touching me. You have no business putting your hands on me, especially if you don't ask. Okay? And so she's holding my hand with one hand, and in the other hand, she's grappling and pulling and yanking at the breast. And I finally snatch my arm back, and I'm like, can you see it now? Can you get it now? Can you see it? Can you get it now? Do you see it? That's why my blood pressure went up to 243 over 110. So then The other nurse comes back in. She says, I've got your medication. I took the medication, laid there in the bed, and I felt it when it kicked in because I was sitting up in the bed, and then all of a sudden I just kind of slouched to one side. And I was like, that's it, huh? Okay. And they gave me the medication. Blood pressure came down to 140/90, and they said, okay, well, you're good. It's going to continue to come down. You can go home. So I was good. I was good. So then after that, the next day, I went and got the first batch of lab work done, and then I went and got the second batch done the next week because he had left some stuff off, and then the other stuff he just refused to give to me, which was my women's panel, my FSH, LH, and plus testosterone, progesterone, all those things. He didn't want to test. She had no problem. She was like, yeah, let's get it done. Let's get it done. You know? So I may stick with her. Matter of fact, what was her name? Vox was her name. Oh, okay. That's her name. Okay. Dr. L. So I'm going to stick with her because, you know, I appreciate the fact that, you know, she wanted to work with me. And, you know, it's my blood. I'm like, if I get my FSH, Yahweh, someone needs you. Help them, heal them, comfort them, protect them. In Yeshua, HaMashiach's matchless and mighty name. Yahweh, please help them. You know, it's no skin off of his nose if I want a woman's panel or if I want a vitamin panel or a lipid panel or a metabolic panel. What's it to him? You know, or then they'll say something like, well, you know, those tests are really expensive. I don't think your insurance is going to pay for it. Doc, thanks for looking out for my pocket. But in order for me to feel good about me, in order for me to be healthy, I need to know all about me. I need to know what's going on with me. Okay, so I want you to have the same sentiment about your own health and well-being. You know, go and call your doctor in the morning and make an appointment. Sometimes you don't have to make an appointment. Sometimes they're overbooked and really busy and cha-ching, you know, cha-ching-ing is going on. And sometimes they'll say, well, you know, I can just write the order and send it over to the doctor, to the lab. But oftentimes they do want you to come in because they want that $35 copay, you know. And hey, I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Live your life. Get it how you live. So, be in tune with yourself. If something's not right, get it checked out. Get your labs done. Whatever diagnostics you feel are necessary for you, get it done and take care of it. Don't, you know, I don't want to sit around and wait until something explodes and then we have to be in reactive management mode. I want to be as proactive as I can be. Unfortunately, this particular situation, it was reactive, you know. I didn't feel well, but wait a minute. No, it wasn't. I'm lying. I knew back in March my vitamin D was low. In December of 22, it was 29. So I figured, well, I'm 1 point away from being 30. I'm okay. I don't need to do anything else. I'm not taking any more vitamin D because it causes me such a problem anyway. So anyway, I just stopped taking the vitamin D because I was at 29. I was supposed to be between 30 and 77. I should have kept working at it, and I didn't. I let it go. My fault. So yes, I was in reactive management mode because I did not finish the task. Okay? But now I have a goal. I have a goal that I want to get to at least 40. Have a little padding between 30 and 30 and 100. I don't think I'll ever get to 100. That would be a lot of vitamin D for me to take. Now, the doctor did write a prescription for vitamin D2. I've heard some things about D2, and I don't know why they even prescribe it based on what I've read and what I've heard about vitamin D2. I don't even know why they prescribe it. D3 is the best form to take. It's well absorbed and assimilates into the body like it's supposed to. So I don't even know why they prescribe D2. But they did give me a prescription for vitamin D2. They gave me 12 caplets, the little gel caps. And I'm supposed to take one every month for 12 months and then get it refilled again and take it again for another 12 months, once a month. And it's 10,000 IUs. I can't take 1,000 without a problem. I know I can't take 10,000, so I have yet to take them. And I probably won't. They're little green gel caps. So I can't, if I can't take 1,000 without a problem, I can't take that. Now maybe, just like I do with the cod liver oil and the vitamin D and E, maybe I could rub it in over my heart, on my jugular, and on the arteries in my wrist. Maybe I could do it that way. I don't know. But I'm scared about that. I don't want to really do that. Slow and steady, right? 1,000 a day. 1,000 a day, and I should be okay. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Let me just go through. I printed out my lab work. I have it on my phone, but I still printed it out. But let's see. Cholesterol was total cholesterol is 149. Normal is between 100 and 199. Triglycerides was 56. The normal range is 0 to 149. I'm at 56. HDL was 84. It was up. Yay! HDL cholesterol was up. Very nice. VLDL was 11. LDL was 67. That's a little high for me, but it's still normal. Normal is between 0 and 99. I was at 67. I'd like to get down to about 40 or 50. But it's still normal and in a very good range. B12. B12 was 496. Now, my B12 at one time was 712. And that's when I first started eating meat again. I don't think I'm really doing anything different. I'm not eating as often. When I first started eating meat again, I was eating like 3 or 4 times a day. Now I eat like twice a day, and that's it. But my B12 was 712. It's now 496. The normal is 232 up to 1245, 1,245. I'm at 496. It's a good number. I'm normal, but I'd rather be at the 712, right? Folate is normal but low. It was only 3. You should be no higher than 10. And I'm at 3 for the folate or folic acid. Now for the FSH and LH, those are hormones. Let's see, LH was 10.3, FSH was 25.2. Those two numbers tell you where a woman is. Like, I'm just going to make this up. If 0 to 10 is she's ovulating, 11 to 20, she's premenopausal, 21 to 30, she's menopausal, and 31 to 40, she's postmenopausal, okay? That's what these numbers indicate. Now, I don't remember, I think mine said that I was postmenopausal, okay? But anyway, my LH is 10.3 and my FSH was 25.2. My testosterone is low. You're supposed to be between 4 and 50, and I'm at 3. Okay? So I need to figure out what I need to do to get my testosterone up, and I'd like to get it up to at least 30. I'm at a 3 right now. Should be between 4 and 50. And testosterone will raise your blood pressure. Testosterone will cause that patterned baldness where your hair gets really thin right here, or it'll just cause your hair to just thin and fall out all over. So if you're premenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal, and your hair's falling out, It could be vitamin D deficiency. It could be a testosterone deficiency. I don't know what I need to do other than sleep and keep my cortisol levels low to get my testosterone back up, because if cortisol is high, testosterone, I believe, is also going to drop as well. So I got to figure out how to get my testosterone in a good range, and I would like to be at least 30 if I could. Let's see, estradiol, I'm at 7.6. Magnesium, I'm at 1.9. Normal is between 1.6 and 2.3. I'm at 1.9. I'd like to be a little bit higher. I think that would help with the muscle cramps if I got it up a little higher. And progesterone, I am at 0.1. Seems to be a normal number. Okay? So that was the last batch of tests that the female doctor gave to me, because he forgot to do the cholesterol and he refused to do the women's panel. So she did the women's panel and the cholesterol for me, and that's what I just read. All right, so this is what he ordered before he went out to have surgery on his knee. He gave me a CBC with differential platelet. White blood cell was 7. Red blood cell was 4.81. Hemoglobin 12.8. Everything blue and in the normal. Hematocrit 41.8. MCV 87. MCH 26.6. MCHC was 30.6. It's supposed to be at least 31.5. I was at 30.6. I'm off by 0.9. Yahweh, someone needs you. Help them, heal them, comfort and protect them. In Yeshua HaMashiach's matchless and mighty name, Amen. Yahweh, please help them. You know, I know it seems like the ambulances go by here a lot, and they do, because I live down the street from the firehouse, just a couple of blocks away. But when they go on a call, they have to have the sirens on, of course. But when they come back from a call, they have to have the sirens on then too, because they have to hurry back to the station to report back for the next call. So that's why it seems like it's a lot. They take the person to the hospital, and then they come back with the sirens on again. So that explains why you hear them so often here. There's, you know, where I live, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. And the fact that I live down the street, I live on the street where the firehouse is. I live on the street where the firehouse is. Just a couple of blocks to my north, you know. So that's why you hear it all the time. Anyway, RDW is normal. Platelets were normal. See, RDW was 13.4. Platelets was 217. Neutrophils, normal. Lymphs, normal. Monocytes, normal. EOS used to always be abnormal. EOS has to do with allergies, and it was always indicating that something was in my body that I was allergic to while I was vegan, because my EOS was always very high while I was vegan. So I don't know if it was something I was eating, something I wasn't eating, some nutritional factor that I needed that I didn't have. I don't know, but my EOS was always off the charts, but it's normal now. And my EOS is 3. Bezos is 1. Neutrophils is 4.7. Lymphs, am I reading the same page twice? I already read lymphs. This page says lymphs 25, but this page over here, oh, this is lymphs absolute. 1.7. Monocytes, 0.4. EOS absolute, 0.2. Bezos absolute, 0.0. You're supposed to be at 0.2 or less, and I'm at 0.0, nothing. Immature granulocytes, 0. Immature grands, ADS, 0. All normal. Glucose was 95. Normally, I'm between 84 and 90. I don't know why I was 5 points higher this time. BUN was 15. Creatinine, that's your kidneys. When I was vegan, my creatinine was always between 1.06 and 1.04. 1.04 is the beginning stage of kidney failure. That's where I stayed at. 1.4 to 1.04 to 1.06 was where I stayed at when I was vegan. And I didn't realize, I didn't know, I hadn't researched that this 1.4, this 1.04, this 1.06, I had not researched that was beginning stages of kidney failure. I didn't know. So now, where am I? My creatinine level is 0.94. I am well below 1. Okay? So returning back to meat has helped me heal my kidneys. Okay? Something I'm doing. Let's just put it that way. Something I'm doing that I wasn't doing when I was vegan is healing my body, has healed my body. And it's been a long time coming. It was a long road. I didn't get here overnight. It wasn't easy. And I had to take it slow. And let me say something about coming back to meat. If you are vegan and you're considering coming back to meat, do it slowly. Do it gently. Don't come back to eating meat and just right away start eating big steaks and raw meat and organ meat. Because I've seen people do this. I've seen people come away from being vegan and then say, and then turn around and start eating organ meats. Organ meats are difficult to digest, okay? Eating raw meat is not something we're supposed to do, you know? And if you question or have thoughts or concerns about that, you know, if you believe in Yahweh, His will, His word, and His way, just consult on His will, His word, His way. Because here's the thing about Yahweh's word. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world today, okay? It does not matter what weapons are formed against us. Because here's what I want you to know, and this is what Yahweh wants you to know too. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, especially if you're living according to His will, word, and way. That's number one. Number two, Yahweh's word is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Thanks be to Yahweh. His word don't change. Your friends may change. You may have this person in your life today and they gone tomorrow. But Yahweh and His word are everlasting. It don't change. Don't think that Yahweh didn't know for 1 minute what man would do to what He gave us for food, okay? And if you don't know what Yahweh gave us for food, pick up your book, pick up your Bible, go to Leviticus, go to Deuteronomy, go to Genesis, okay? And He tells us what meats we can eat and what meats we cannot eat, what is clean and what is unclean. Yahweh did not give us meat because we begged for it. He gave us meat because it was the thing He wanted us to have. Yahweh would be a very, very bad parent and would be raising some very spoiled children if He gave in to our whims and our tantrums and because we cry. What kind of parent gives into a child their whims and their fantasies or their little flights of fancy, you know, just because they cry? A bad parent. Don't let your children manipulate you into doing what they want you to do, how and when they want you to do it. Because then you're just raising a spoiled brat. Yahweh doesn't want us to be spoiled brats. Yahweh spelled it out plain and simple. This is what you eat. This is what you don't eat. This is how you kill it. This is how you eat it. If you make a mistake and eat this, this is what you must do. Yahweh was very, very, very clear in His word and what He wanted us to do. But you know what? Some people do this. La, 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 la. I don't want to hear nothing about Leviticus. I don't want to hear about Deuteronomy. I don't want to talk about Leviticus. I don't want to talk about Deuteronomy. They don't. But you know what? That's a bad thing that a person does. And if you see somebody do that, move away. Get out of the way. Because when a person says, I don't want to hear Yahweh's word, La la la. I don't care what Leviticus says. I don't care nothing about what Deuteronomy says. That person in that moment is essentially denying God, denying Yahweh in front of man, in front of women, in front of children. Anytime someone says, I don't care what Yahweh's word says about eating meat, I don't want to hear what Yahweh's word says about eating meat, they are denying God. And you know what God said? Just like you denied me, I never knew you. When it's time for you to leave this place and you think you coming up here, I never knew you. Because when I told you you could have this, that, and a third, you ran to people and told them, oh no, I don't want to hear that. I ain't doing that. I don't want that. I'm not doing this. But Yahweh also told us to mind our business. Yahweh told us, if a man, woman, child decides they want to eat vegetables, let them do so, and let them do it to the glory of Yahweh, and mind your business. That's what the word says. If a man, woman, or child decides they want to eat meat, that is their business. Mind your business. You have no say-so. And for people who are making a platform where they're telling people, you're going to die if you eat this, you're going to be sick if you eat that, you're going to catch this disease if you eat this, and, but Yahweh has already deemed it good. And it also says in Yahweh's word, anything that Yahweh has deemed good, and any person, man, woman, or child, who says what Yahweh has said is good is now bad, you are now on the business end of receiving his wrath for telling somebody that. You're in trouble. You better find a way to fix that. Because once Yahweh has deemed something good and someone turns around and says, no, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. You're in trouble with him, not me. You're in trouble with Yahweh, not you. People sitting here on social media denying Yahweh, his will, his word, his way, his power. Talking about, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to talk about that. You're denying God. You're denying Yahweh right to his face and before his children. How dare you contradict what Yahweh has written as law? You cannot contradict what Yahweh says. You cannot contradict what Yahweh... Don't you know Yahweh knew what man was going to do with our food, our water? Don't you know Yahweh knew? He knew before we did. He knew before it started. But if you're in his favor and his grace, these things will do you no harm. Because Yahweh says in his word also, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Now, if you live according to his will, his word, and his way, okay? All right? Because if all these bad things were supposed to happen just from me eating meat, my cholesterol would not be 164, 154, 149. My sugar would still be diabetic at 6.0. My A1C would still be 6.0 and not 5.3 where it is now. My sodium would not be 137 to 140. My glucose would not be between 84 and 90. Okay? And just like the doctor told me, I don't understand why your blood pressure is high with all these numbers looking so good. But when you have done the research, when you look it up, vitamin D causes high blood pressure. Low iron causes low blood pressure. Low estrogen, low testosterone cause high blood pressure. I got 3 out of the 4 that I mentioned. So I'm getting the triple whammy effect because I got low iron, low vitamin D, low testosterone. So I'm getting the triple effect here, the triple whammy. But I know how to fix it. And with Yahweh's help and my prayers to him, we'll fix this. Yahweh is not a bad parent. Yahweh is not a simp or a wimp that he would give in just because we cried and begged for some meat. Stop it. Let's see, what else do we have here? Potassium is 4.4. Normal is 3.5 to 5.2. Chloride was 104. Normal is 96 to 106. Carbon dioxide was 26. Normal is 20 to 29. Calcium is 9.9. When I was vegan, my calcium was 1. Protein total is 7.9. Albumin is 4.6. Normal is 4.9 to 3.8. What else? Globulin is 3.3. Normal is 1.5 to 4.5. AG ratio, I think that's the, no, that's not it. Anyway, AG ratio is 1.4. Normal is 1.2 to 1.2 to 2.2. I'm at 1.4. Bilirubin, that is your liver. Bilirubin is 0.5. You should be no higher than 1.2. Alkaline phosphatase is 58. You should be between 44 and 121. AST, SGOT is 14. You should be no higher than 40, and ALT is 11. You should be no higher than 32. Okay. And then on the last page, A1C is 53. You should be between 4.8 and 5.6 in order to be normal. I was at 6.0 while I was vegan. Okay. But I am 5.3. Again, normal is 4.8 to 5.6. Hydroxy, vitamin D, 25 hydroxy, is 18.5, and my insulin is 6.5. I think I said 16 earlier, but that would be too low. Or too high, no, that would be normal if it was 16. Normal is between 2.6 and 24.9. Mine is 6.5. It's a little on the low side, but it's still normal. But that is, I hope you can see it, that is the vitamin D result there. 18.6, and it says low. So I got to work on that. And then what else was low? The testosterone. Where's the testosterone? Oh, this is the iron. See the yellow dot? If it's normal, it's blue. But there's the yellow dot, and it's 30.6. I'm off by 0.9. That's not too bad. It's just, when you compile all these things that cause high blood pressure, it just gives you the, triple, double whammy, whatever you want to call it. I did not get my cortisol level checked because I forgot, but I'll get that next time. Where's the testosterone? That should be over here. Here's my lab result for the testosterone. It's low, it's only 3. The lowest it should be is 4, and the highest it should be is 50. So I got to work on the testosterone. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have to research it. I have to look it up. I want to look it up first. Then I'll talk to my doctor. Now, of course, they want to recommend their way of treating me, which would be, what do you call it? HRT, hormone replacement therapy. And I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to find other ways that I can do it. I know you need a lot of sleep to keep your testosterone level up. I need to make sure I'm getting my rest. And I'm going to go to Dr. Ken Berry's YouTube page and see what he has to say. I'll see what Dr. Berg has to say. And then I will go to the American Medical Association's journals and see what they have to say about low testosterone in women. You have to be specific. Are you talking about low testosterone in women or in men? Because I think there's different things that they do for us. I don't know. I'm guessing. So that's what I wanted to tell you all. I know I said I would only be here for an hour, but I think everything that I said, is important. I know it's important because these are things I wish I had have known. I wish someone had told me. But it's okay. It happened the way it happened. And because of the way it happened, it has been a good lesson because as I've heard it said, the best lessons learned sometimes are the hardest lessons to learn. And it's been an ordeal. I mean, I'm sitting here calm and collected right now before you, but I was a little bit rattled this time a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, but I'm doing well. I am doing well, I try to take my vitamins every day. Oh, I wanted to show you the, what was that? Oh, I sure dropped it on the floor. The vitamin that the pharmacist recommended to me, something so simple, something that's been around for so long, was what I needed. And at one point, I even considered getting Geritol, because when I was in the 6th grade, it was a big deal for us to take Geritol. And that was a geriatric vitamin back then. And I think it still is, hence the name Geritol. But when I was in 6th grade, we always had a bottle circulating between me and there was 5 of us. And we always had a bottle either in our desk. We didn't have lockers at the time in the 6th grade, but we always had a bottle of Geritol. And every day we took Geritol. One of our girlfriends' moms said, you need to take Geritol. So we started taking Geritol, and we took it together every morning. I was going to say something, but, kids be watching. I don't want to put any bad influences out there. But anyway, take care of yourself. Know where you are. Know your numbers. What's your blood pressure? What's your cholesterol, your A1C, your glucose, sodium? What's your FSH, your LH, your progesterone, testosterone, progesterone? Where do you stand? Where are you? What's your lipid panel? What's your what's your kidney function look like? You need to know all of these things. Somebody was to ask me each one of those things, I could rattle it all off to you just like that. Because I know it's important. I need to know. And if something's too high, bring it up. Bring it down. If something's too low, bring it up. Fix it. You can take care of yourself. You, we, me. I need to play a very active role in my getting and staying healthy. And this is how I get healthy. This is how I stay healthy. I got to know where I am at all times. I can't be lost in the sauce. I got to know where I am at all times. This is what helps me. This is what keeps me healthy. And as I rattled off the numbers, there were only 3 things that were out of whack. And the 3 things that were out of whack, I showed you. And they were off by just, small amounts with the exception of the vitamin D. That's a significant drop from where I'm supposed to be. Okay? That's half of where I'm supposed to be, almost. Okay? The vitamin D is serious. The MCH and the testosterone, not so much. But because, you've got not 1, but 2, but 3 of these components all working together, I'm not going to feel so good sometimes, and I'm going to need some help. Okay? So, but this is what the pharmacist recommended for me. And I love that she recommended this to me for a number of reasons. Number one, I took it, my mother gave it to me when I was a kid. Number two, it's been around since forever, you know, and I really think I can trust it because it's been around forever. But let me tell you what's in here. There is vitamin A. You got to be careful with vitamin A. And in saying you got to be careful with vitamin A, you have to be careful with all vitamins. Don't take vitamins you don't need, especially for long periods of time. I wouldn't do this any more than 30 days, okay, in the beginning. And then once I've done this for 30 days, I'll take off for a month, come back and do it again for 2 weeks. Take off a month, do it for 2 weeks. Take off a month, do it for 2 weeks. Okay? You don't take vitamins 365 unless your doctor says so. Okay? Maybe you've got some type of health issue and your nutrition is being depleted and you need to have it, you know, replaced via supplements. If your doctor says do it that way, take it every day, 365, you do that. But as a rule of thumb, you don't take vitamins unless it's indicated that you actually need them. I don't have any indication that I need vitamin A, but vitamin A is in here. Okay? So you got to be careful. All right? I'm going to do 30 days of this bad boy here. And then I'm going to take off for a month. And then I'll come back and do 2 weeks, take off a month, 2 weeks, a month. And then I may just do 1 week and 1 month. 1 week and 1 month. You know, do it that way. But again, you don't want to take these things unless it's indicated because you can raise your levels too high. And then you can become toxic. And then you have to go to the hospital, you know, because something is more than what you actually even needed. You know, I know people will take vitamins because, oh, I want my hair to grow long, but do you need biotin? Do you need selenium, things that help your hair grow? Do you need that iodine to help you? Do you need that pantothenic acid to help your hair grow? Do you need that? Does your body say you need that? But more than just your body saying you need it, does your lab work say you need it? Okay, now I know I'm taking some vitamins here that I've not been tested for, but again, I'm just doing this for 30 days and, you know, after that, it's off for a month. Okay, but let me tell you what's in here. Everything. A woman who is premenopausal, postmenopausal, menopausal, I think everything except for CoQ10 is in here. And maybe, I don't know, a little K2 wouldn't hurt. Now, K2, there's some things that can happen in your arteries and your veins, okay? In your veins, your blood can thicken and start to clot up and form clots, which can have a negative impact on your body's ability to move blood throughout your veins and your arteries. So what vitamin E with the tocotrienols does for the blood is that it thins the blood out. It's a blood thinner. That's what vitamin E does. It thins the blood out, okay? Vitamin K2, which they normally say you should take K2 and vitamin D3 together. K2, sometimes people get calcium deposits or hardening of the arteries. And if you have hardening of the arteries, you want to take K2 because K2 will break up the calcium and put it where it needs to go, in your bones, in your teeth, you know, where the calcium needs to be. All right, and it will remove, K2 will remove the calcium from your arteries and veins, okay? Calcium shouldn't be forming in your arteries and veins. That's what you call hardening of the arteries, and that could take you out. That's what happened to my dad. He died from arterial, what do you call it? Arterial sclerosis, when the arteries harden. So anyway, you got to be careful with that. But this has vitamin A, C, D, E, B1, B2, B6. It has folate, or what they call folic acid. It has B12, biotin, pantothenic acid, calcium, iron, iodine, magnesium, zinc, selenium, and copper. Now, iodine, zinc, and selenium and copper are good for the thyroid. Really good. Copper is good for, if you've got joint pain and things like that. Selenium and zinc are for the thyroid. Iodine is for the thyroid. Iron is for the blood. Calcium for the bones. Pantothenic acid for the hair. Biotin for the hair. B12 for the hair. Now, if I make a mistake, I'm trying to recall from memory because it's not listed on the bottle what the vitamin is for. I'm just looking at the vitamin, just remembering. Yeah. So this is a good vitamin. 1 a day, women. And that's what I'm taking. And it has the iron that I need. It has the folate and folic acid that I need. And it has the vitamin D. And the vitamin E doesn't hurt either, keeping the blood thin. So anyway, that's all I got. I've been here longer than I should have been. But this is information I wish I had before. I wish somebody had tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, what are you going to do when, menopause starts? What have you thought about? Did you know? So if you know someone that's going through menopause, you go ahead and make a video. Don't share my video. You go ahead and make a video and share with them what you do and what works for you. Now, don't be out here giving out no half-truths. Don't be out here guessing at nothing. If you don't know, you just don't know. Don't make things up. That hurts a lot of people. That hurts a lot of people. Anyway, ¿qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Ooh, 4:14. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, at least it wasn't 5 hours this time. But it was a lot of good information, and I still have more to share. I still have more to come. But listen, life is important, okay? Living it is important. Taking care of this gift is a gift and important. And I'm going to live this life. I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off of it, okay? Because I believe that's why Yahweh put us here, to enjoy this life and to be happy in it. There was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I've been hearing this a lot lately, and I even felt this for a while too. And what I heard is that it seems like the days are going by so fast. They're just... All right, close this window. It's cold. Ooh. Uh-oh. I've been hearing a lot lately that, oh shoot, I left the water in the freezer. It's frozen. Oh no, they're going to bust. Hold on. Ah! No. Oh my Lord, please don't let them have frozen. Oh. I fuss at my family all the time about leaving the water in the freezer when they're trying to get it cold. Oh, they froze. Doggone it. I get on my family about this all the time. I'm like, set a timer so you know when to take it out. And I did. I set a timer, but the timer didn't go off. Doggone it. Anyway, I'm cold. I have heard people say, time just seems like, the days just fly by. They just fly by. But I just want to share something with you that I realized, and it's not that time is flying by. And maybe this isn't the case for you. I'm just telling you what I learned and what the case was for me. Time is not flying by. I found myself doing a lot of this. smiley face, hearts, hearts, hearts. And the next thing you know, you're up at 5 a.m. and the next thing you know, it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon and you're supposed to have started dinner at 2. If you feel like, and this is just a suggestion, if you feel like your days are just flying by, I would make this suggestion. Put the phone down. Get off the computer. Get a book. You know, the ones with the pages that you can flip, you know. Get a book, read a book, go for a walk, do that laundry that's been staring at you for the last month. Fold that laundry that's been looking at you for the last month that you haven't folded yet. Do something productive. And if you're not sure what you should do that's productive, I'm gonna give you something before I even. I'm giving y'all so many gems right here. So just take it in, because I'm giving it to you for nothing, for nothing. And I might upset some people with the next thing I'm gonna say, but let me finish this part first. If you feel like your days are flying by, it's most likely because you've had your face stuck in that telephone, that computer screen all day long, scrolling and watching other people live their lives, scrolling and watching other people do nothing but foolishness, talk foolishness, give fake and false information or whatever. Go and take yourself a class in nutrition. Especially if you have any intentions of losing weight, if you have any intentions of getting healthy, go and take a nutrition class. I mean, a class I'm talking about that lasts for like 5 or 6 months. Because in that class, you're going to learn physiology, you're going to learn a little bit of chemistry, you're going to learn a lot of biology, you're going to learn how the body operates, what the body needs to operate, and what will tear this body apart if it does not have certain components in place. You're going to learn all of these things, and you need to learn these things. You need to learn and know these things. And oftentimes, your local hospital will have these symposiums, and sometimes these symposiums are open to the public. Sometimes they are not necessarily in layman's terms, so you might not understand it, but just go anyway. You never know what you might pick up or what you might understand, and you know what might pique your interest to come back for more, or to even attend a class at a local university for 6 months to a year. But really, they are not teaching our children. They are not teaching us nutrition and health and wholeness and well-being anymore. They're not doing that. So you should make that your business to learn that. Don't just rely on someone to tell you, oh, I feel amazing, I feel great, I feel amazing. Listen, if our health and well-being laid or lane, is it laid or lay? If our health and well-being depended on how our emotions were, at any given moment, then it's possible we could be up and down, up and down, up and down all day long. It doesn't necessarily lay or lie in, oh, I feel great, I feel wonderful, That's not the complete and total picture. Okay? And you can't use just emotion to say, oh, I'm doing well, I'm doing great. Because like I said, for some people, high blood pressure is a silent killer. They don't even know they have it. I knew my blood pressure was up. I could just feel it. Some people don't get that feeling, So this is why you have to stay in checks and balances with where you are in terms of what's going on with you. And you cannot depend on what somebody else is saying, especially what someone else is doing, because they might not be going through what you're going through. You might have a vitamin D deficiency because you're not eating enough vitamin D. or you're not taking your vitamin D like the doctor told you. Or you might have a vitamin D deficiency because of some other reason. Maybe you've got some kind of illness that's eating and depleting all of your nutrients. There's a whole myriad of reasons why, for instance, you could have high blood pressure. So you wouldn't take this person's blood pressure medicine over here. You know, you wouldn't take that person's blood pressure medicine because you don't know why they have high blood pressure. They could have it because they've got low testosterone, low estrogen. They could be taking it because they've got low vitamin D, but whatever it is, you know, you need to treat it and treat it right. And you can't treat these things until you know what's going on. And the best way to do that is to get whatever scans or lab work you can get done and know a little something. And the only way for you to know something is to research something, pick up a book and learn. Listen to some of the symposiums that come your way. You know, it's time we get nosy about us. Excuse me. You should want to know how your body's inner workings work together to keep you whole, well, and healthy. You should want to know these things. And taking a vitamin just because someone says, oh, this will make your hair grow. You don't want to be taking pantothenic acid if you don't need it. Oh, here, you should take this because my aunt, sister's, cousin's, mother's, father's uncle, he had a thyroid condition. He had a goiter. So he used to take iodine every day. Well, maybe your iodine levels are normal. And you're going to start taking iodine, and then things are out of whack, and you end up sick or toxic from too much iodine. You can't do what everybody else does. You can't take what everybody else takes. You have to do what's best for you, and the only way you can do what's best for you is for you to know you. What sister so-and-so is taking or drinking or mixing together or blending up, that's for her. You don't know what she got going on. You know, because sometimes people can have stuff going on and they're not telling you what they got going on. You know, oh, I'm taking these supplements and they make me feel so good. But you have some type of communicable, but you have some type of communicable disease. And this is why that person is taking that, but you don't have a communicable disease. So you shouldn't be taking this, that, and the third. See, so you can't rely on what other people do, what other people are doing, what other people are saying. You got to focus in on you and take care of you. What she got going on, you might not have going on. What she don't have going on, you might have going on. You might have some things you need to address. So let me get back to what I was saying. You know, sometimes I think we spend too much time on social media, and I have decided I am quieting my home. If I could find some of those big head boy televisions, I would invest in those. I don't want nothing smart in here. I want everything dumb. I don't want no smart this. I don't want no smart that. But I got some smart stuff in here, and I'm trying to limit the use of those things. And I'm also trying to replace some of those things where I can. Like when I'm in the house, I have a phone that I use. Not a boop 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 phone. No, not the princess phone. I got the dial phone where it take 30 minutes to dial one number. Oh boy. But yeah, I'm trying to quiet my home, and it does not have a USB plug. It just plugs into the wall, and that's it. If it's got a USB, then it's a smartphone. It's a smart appliance. So, but I don't want anything smart in here. I'm trying to quiet my environment, quiet my space, stop using all this smart this, that. Let me tell you something. When I had a doctor's appointment Wednesday, went to get in the car, and I got this little holder on the windshield that holds my phone. got in the car, put the phone up on the holder, started the car. Don't you know Siri came in and said, so-and-so's doctor's office is 20 minutes away. Here are the directions. I didn't ask nobody on that phone for no directions. I didn't put on my calendar, I have a doctor's appointment. Listen, let me tell you something. If I have an appointment with you, it's right here. I'm not writing it down. I'm not putting it in my phone. That's because just for that reason. But when that thing popped up, this is the new iPhone, okay? When that thing popped up on my phone and said, your doctor's appointment is at such and such a time, and it's X amount of minutes away from the house, I was like, you know too much, you doing too much. No, we getting ready to put you out the pasture. Yeah, so that was just too much. That was too much. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I got to get dinner ready. I don't have much to do. We are going to have chicken, sweet potatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and green peas. We always have 2 to 3 vegetables. So, chicken, Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes, broccoli, and peas. That's what's for dinner. Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about where I am and how I got where I am right now. I'll talk more about it because I could get started now, and I don't want to. This video has been long enough. But I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you tuning in, whether you came for the live show or you came back for the replay. I appreciate you. I do. Thank you so much. This is I Am Everything Fresh and Sassy. Stay close. Stay tuned. I'll see you when I see you. Yahweh willing. Sawubona mngani. Nangalingalanga ubusuku. No beteng boyen visiswami. No tolo no tando. Dintanda no kimakai.